Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Wait, can you hear me? Yeah, you can. Good. Let's see. That Edie girl, thank you so much for being first. Hello to Connie Bowman. And let's see, Cherry Traveler, Sharon Skinner, um, and a bunch of other people. Teddy Bongo, y'all know who you are. Okay, let's get on with it. See if we can get out of here in like an hour. So, Harry wins appeal. Yes, Harry wins an appeal. There aren't that many articles out there because the news is, I guess it's only 5 hours old. So, there's not a whole lot of coverage. So, unfortunately, I have to turn to one of those rotten newspapers to get the story, but we'll make it work. As a matter of fact, it brings me right back to Victoria Ward, the last place I'd want to be after that horrible article she wrote yesterday, where she kept interchanging, what was it, foot, and then it was below the knee, and then it was the foot again. I'm like, make up your GD mind. Anyway, we'll get into that. Yeah, and then of course yesterday there was this one with love, Megan top 10. I didn't get a chance to look at those again today because I don't know. They usually everybody posts a bunch of stuff, but there weren't that many posts, so I guess I could have looked it up myself, right? Nah, that's too anticipated. So yeah. Anyway, that's Daddy Dearest. Daddy Dearest. Okay, here we go. Prince Harry wins major victory in battle for taxpayer funded security. Duke of Sussex to receive full risk assessment following major U turn by the Home Office. Did you hear what I said? A full risk assessment. I don't think they had actually had a risk assessment in like 5 years. So that Neil Basu, who was the counterterrorism person, he said that they needed an updated risk assessment and that they had an elevated level of risk in comparison to the other royals. Theirs was much greater. And anyway, this is just what the doctor ordered. It is long overdue. So it opens up the doors to a whole lot of possibilities because Harry said that he was not bringing those kids over there if they were not safe. He wasn't bringing his wife if she was not safe. Before this, their idea of security was an unarmed officer in a bureau office somewhere where they would call not 999, but you call some other number and you tell them, I don't mean to bother you, but pardon me. It's just a matter of I hear projectiles flying over my head. And while we are ducking and covering right now, it would be jolly nice of you if you could send maybe a few armed police officers. Yes, that's right, Prince Harry. Yes, and I have my family with me. Yes, the Duchess of Sussex. You see what I'm saying? How ridiculous is that? So, um, it is high time that Harry is given the proper review and assessment that he deserves. I believe it's been over 5 years since there has been a proper security assessment. And this is not just for the simple motorcade and such. This is to have armed royal protection officers. It doesn't make a lick of sense to be in a situation where the officers involved can only reply with pepper spray. We want something a little more spicy, if you know what I mean, right? Don't pepper with pepper spray, pepper with lead spray, a little spray of lead. So this is long, long overdue. And it should not have taken this long. And of course, this is just one step. Hopefully, with an honest assessment and review, we don't have to suffer the indignity. Because I feel like all of us are, mentally involved with this as possible. Um, so we don't have to suffer the indignity of them turning them down for armed royal protection. It didn't make sense 3 years ago. It does not make sense now. Give them the protection that they deserve. That's it. Give them the protection they deserve. He is a prince of the realm. It's foolish because his father is a head of state. His father is a head of state. He's not supposed to pay for his own royal protection. Where does that happen? That is an insult. Call up some bureaucrat sitting in an office and tell them, I'm having an emergency. They don't even want them to call 911 or 999. They're supposed to call an unarmed person on a phone in some office in some undisclosed location. Do you know how many terrible things could happen while you're dialing the phone? Ask Princess Anne, who had to bare her teeth to get those kidnappers to leave her alone, among other things. It was the 70s. What could I say? Um, uh, it was the 70s. You know what I'm saying? It was just after a period of free love. So, and the interesting part is she probably would have done it anyway, right? Even if there was not the even if there was not let me stop and get back on track here. But yeah, when it comes to Princess Anne back in those days, even if there wasn't a threat of kidnapping, she'd have probably flashed them anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's a excellent chance that that would have happened just the same. So it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the 70s. So, okay. Mm. Oh, okay. I will do that. I will do that. Hey, Miss Viv. Oh, you know what? I wasn't done with that article, was I? Where's the article at? Oh. There it is. Why do I have it over here? Ah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, anyway, as I was saying, the Duke of Sussex has won a full security risk assessment following a major U turn by the Home Office. Prince Harry brought a high profile legal claim against the government over the decision to remove his right to automatic taxpayer funded security. Oh, that makes me mad every time. That should not have happened. Prince Harry, I'm sorry, he lost the legal battle in May, blaming an establishment stitch up. The Court of Appeals declared that a grievance did not equate to a valid legal agreement. In other words, we are going to protect King Charles III. We are going to protect him as far as the well being of his family is concerned, select members of his family. Um, he lost the legal battle in May, blaming an establishment stitch up. However, the Duke of who insists it is not safe to bring his wife, Meghan, and their two children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, to the United Kingdom, pursued the matter behind closed doors. The Telegraph revealed in October that he had written privately to the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, urging her to rethink the approach to his security. The Duke is understood to have been told on Friday that the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, RAVAC, the Home Office Committee responsible for such decisions, had changed tack and had instructed its risk management RMB, the risk management board, to reassess his threat level for the first time in 6 years. I thought it was 5 years. 6 years. 6 years. The board will now collate evidence from the police and the government and Harry's team, with this finding expected to represent to Ravec next month, according to The Sun. It could pave the way for the Duke to return to the UK with his children for the first time since 2022. The Duke has not been given a full risk assessment since April of 2019. April of 2019. Then he was deemed such a target that he was put on the highest category level, 7 out of 7. The only people at a similar risk at that time were the monarch and the prime minister, and then Theresa, that of course being Theresa May. He has long argued that a new risk analysis was imperative to ensure that any security decision made by RAVAC were based on the current threats. You know, sometimes they hear chatter in those talk groups and such, and that's when you know somebody's up to no good. You know, the Snapchat and all that kind of stuff. He argued in court that by denying him a risk assessment, he had been singled out for inferior treatment, that RAVAC had not followed its own rules. Since quitting royal duties and to move abroad, the Duke has been required to give 30 days. Oh, see, Every time I see this, it makes me so mad to give 30 days notice of any UK visit so each could be assessed on its merits. You know, a lot can happen in 30 days, right? Mm, 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 mm. Whew. This is, ooh, those people. The bespoke arrangement has so far resulted in him receiving minimal or no police protection the vast majority of the time. Instead of an armed close protection he received as a working royal, he has been assigned a liaison officer to contact if anything were to go awry. A role police sources admitted was a suit in an office who is not security vetted. You have some bureaucrat sitting at a desk. Do you know how much stuff can go wrong while you're waiting for the security officer? Let me put it to you like this. Um, what was the name of that ship that was close to the Titanic? Was it the Carpathia or was it the California? Anyway, it was only 20 minutes away. But the radio officer who worked overnight in the wireless room or whatever they called it fell asleep. He had went to bed, assured that nothing could be going on. Not on a night like this. It's the same thing. Imagine there's an iceberg and you're trying to get on the wireless, sending a message to some suit in an office somewhere who's not even vetted in security. Or, sticking with the Titanic metaphor, who's not even trained to use the wireless. The what do they call it? The Marconi wireless or whatever. You got to be flipping kidding me. The High Court recognized that any renewed risk analysis would be very likely to confirm that threat levels faced by the Duke in 2019, several people had been jailed for either plotting to harm, spelled Kill, Prince Harry, encouraging attacks on him, threatening or plotting to harm, Kill, him. It is understood that there are 3 Britons at large who have been jailed and released after plotting to cause him harm. Neil Basu, the former head of the UK's counterterrorism unit, who held various positions on RAVAC between 2018 and 2021, told The Telegraph in October that it was a mistake not to again formally assess the threats faced by the Duke, and that as a result, he had been left exposed. He said, let me drink some water. He said he did not believe the Duke's risk profile had been changed before he retired from frontline policing in 2022. In fact, he acknowledged that it had almost certainly increased. The most common nature of threats to a member of the royal family has been fixated individuals, Mr. Basu said. There's even a specialist team set up within the New Scotland Yard to deal with fixated threat assessment because there were so many. Normally, the head of state by a country mile were the where oh, I'm sorry, more than anybody else But nevertheless, several other individuals in the royal family, and it is the hardest thing to guard against. And that is somebody who's kind of cray cray that's mixed in the crowd, likely smiling and reaching out for you as though they're just a typical fan. You just cannot know how these things are going to go. The only way of stopping those kinds of people is to be close to the principal and to smother them if they get approached. I wasn't aware that that happened, but that should underline immediately how high a risk he is when he's here. So, anyway, that was the article in the Telegraph. Hey, Legs, Mary H. Cherry Traveler, Heather Stroud, Joya Morris. Oh, Joya Moore, how long has it been? It's been ages, hasn't it? Yep. So here's a couple of other ones. SK said 6 years he's been asking for this risk assessment to be done. They're finally accepted to do it, and it's already underway with the results to be announced next month. Harry's security team are working together with the UK Home Office and all relevant bodies to carry this out. Mr. Incandescent will be raging. He will be raging. He'll be smashing dishes and breaking fingers and pulling out tracks. Oh, you just never know with that one. Okay. Don't forget, you all, tomorrow, I believe it's the 9th, the Masaka Kids, A Rhythm Within. We got that to look forward to. Do not forget. Oh, I see. I work overtime because of Orange Man. Okay. Yeah, he's changed a lot of things, um, present company included. So, yep. But we have to pray and keep it moving, right? That's where it starts with us, prayer. I was just talking to someone. I'm like, how did we get here? So remember, the Masaka kids, those are those kids that you see on social media, Africa, some kids that were orphaned got together and danced to popular music. And anyway, the revenue that they have generated from the um, yeah, it's going to be big. It's going to be great. You'll be grand. You'll be great. The whole world will be on your dinner plate. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everything's coming up roses. Yes. When in doubt, break out with a little Ethel Merman. There's no business like show business like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing. uh, when you are taking that extra bow, There's no people like show people. Oh, was that ho people? Was it ho people or show people? Let me see how that sounds. There's no people like ho people like. Okay, I think it was show. It was probably show. Anyway, I have this sound bite for you. I'm going to play it for you. As soon as I get myself queued up, everything about it is appealing. Something, something, something with the crowd when you are taking that extra bow. Okay, here we go. Here we go. No, we're not, because I don't see it yet. Hold on a second. I'll find it.
Meghan Markle's father sending a plea that he wants to speak to his daughter. He's obviously in hospital, very unwell. We're told he's had to have part of his leg amputated. But I mean, you see this and you just think it's so sad to see this playing out across the front pages. This is, for me, this is the definition of none of our business. This is a private family matter. I mean, he's the one that's gone to the press. And I've got to say, if I were in Meghan's shoes and my dad had gone to the press rather than speak to me, I'd be furious and probably not speak to him. And I think there are a lot of people that don't like Meghan. I think that this is almost pointed at trying to say, oh, see, her father's in hospital and she's not even visiting him. And it's like, we don't know what's gone on. We don't know what's gone on between these two people. It's none of our business. A lot of people don't speak to their families. That doesn't make them bad people. It's a private matter.
Emma. Yeah, look, we know that Thomas Markle is not publicity averse, but I think that it's very, this felt so intrusive to me. And I think it's very telling that even the Mail on Sunday have to put under that photo on the front page, Thomas Markle asked us to publish this photo. They put that on the front page because he's lying in his hospital bed. He looks not well at all. He's got a sort of stump, which is actually his arm. But anyway, we know he's just had part of his lower leg amputated. This is appalling timing for Meghan. She's literally just launched her new Netflix show, With Love, Meghan, a festive special, which focuses on being with family, love, surrounding yourself with family. This is very bad timing for her. They've had this terrible fallout. And as you say, Lewis, family feuds, family estrangements are very private and very painful. Yeah. Most families have experienced something along these lines. Well, nobody knows the truth. I'm not a fan of Harry and Meghan, but I do think this crosses a line. Even the Mail on Sunday, I think this one crosses a line. Although
I think we're all in the same boat in the sense that I'm not a fan of Harry and Meghan, and yet I've seen various other people online and things have launched these huge attacks into Meghan, saying how awful she is. She won't see her poor father. Blah.
We don't know.
We just don't.
We don't know what's gone on. We know that there was an issue before the wedding in 2018. He went to the papers. She wasn't happy about that. And there is
want to milk it,
but so have they. Fleeing the UK for their privacy, and then both of them doing Netflix specials. Yeah. Both of them estranged from their families. The one thing for sure, and then I'll shut up, Lewis. The one thing for sure is the way to end a family feud is not to go to the papers. Yeah. Same thing when Harry came over for his tete-a-tete, his heart-to-heart with his father, King Charles. That is not the way to do it. It needs to be in private, in person.
I was just going to see what you guys thought of. Obviously, Harry got a lot of flack because this happened, and then he went on an American talk show, and people had a lot of criticism for him. But just going on, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, if you have a work commitment, and we've all had family in hospital and you still have to work, I guess you could, is what he's doing work? I don't know.
It is work.
But
I think it was the night later, actually.
Right. Okay.
And also, I don't, the same as you. The day my father died, I went and did you will still work. I mean,
Okay. Well, there you go. They were rather reasonable for GB News. You mostly heard the lady with the kind of speckly looking jumper on, the one sitting on the far end by herself, and also the guy in the upper left there, with just a little bit of interjection from the guy with the red tie. But yeah, I couldn't believe they were so reasonable. Huh. That was strange. Do you think they're like effing with us? I think they're effing with us. Huh. Well, I mean, it got a little snarky toward the end. Thank you very much, Emma Wolf. But still, they were respecting Meghan's right to, I hate to say it, privacy in this matter. So, yeah, you know what? You're right about that. I'm not going to be stingy. Let's do it. All right. Well, in the spirit of that, I tell you what, let's listen to Jeannie Bond from yesterday. Would you guys like that? Please say yes, because I'm going to do it anyway. Would you guys like that? Hello, I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing. Would you guys like that? Oh, Leg says, annoyingly, they give the review as a distraction. Where are we here? Oh, where's my bell? Oh, here we go. Thank you, Legs, for the super chat. You know, this whole thing with Thomas Markle Sr. has been nothing less than a distraction, not just to steal the momentum from Harry's I'm not Harry, Meghan's with love, as ever with love, both. This was also a blatant attempt by them to hide all of the murmuring, to silence the murmuring that has been coming out about these multiple homes. That's the other thing that this serves. As a matter of fact, let me show you something I saw yesterday. I do believe, wait, did I do a screenshot of that or no? Let me see. Okay, I'm looking in the wrong place. You know what? I meant to talk about this, and darn it, I forgot. But that's okay. There's always tomorrow. Okay, let me get this fixed up. I got love on my mind. I got love on my mind. And there's nothing particularly wrong. It's a feeling you feel inside. When I woke up early this morning, it was staring me straight in my eyes. I got love on my mind. Okay, I got it ready. So take a look. I just wanted to crop it because it looked a mess. I got love. Okay, here we go. Love. Can you hear me? Say it for me one more time. Love. Woo! You know, it's like paradise. Want to say it twice. Love. Okay, here we go. Revealed the royal family full extraordinary property portfolio worth billions, and the financial deals shrouded in secrecy for decades. Huh? Huh? And these are just a handful of the homes that they shared with us. There was properties I had never seen before. When I say these people got a lot of property, they got all kind of property. And the public really only knows about a fraction of it. I mean, there's two things going on here. Peppercorn rent, which I had never heard of before last month. And let's not forget, Charles and his dim-witted doofus son, William, they both inherited a fortune. Charles gave up one fortune to take upon another because, well, it's a lateral move. He's leaving the Duchy of Cornwall to head over to the Duchy of Lancaster. How am I doing, Hazel Jones? And then, of course, William, for the first time, he gets to take over $1 billion duchy. And in both cases, these duchies were not very generous with, like, the emergency services or the military, which may have leased space or used the dock or whatever it was. Not to mention that in both cases, there were, especially for the Duchy of Cornwall, there were multiple homes on these estates, cottages, where normal, everyday working class people were living with a lot of dampness and mold. The windows were not removed and modernized with double and triple pane glass. Do you know how much money those people could have saved? How much more comfortable they could have been in their homes if they were able to keep the heat inside of the house? And bear in mind that, probably with the exception of Buckingham Palace, well, no, that's not right, because they have that muse. They have a huge muse. And I think, isn't there an art gallery or something like that attached with the royal collection? Anyway, a lot of these properties have multiple cottages, halls, houses, whatever you want to call them. They got all kind of property. They can rent these properties to members of the public. But guess what? The public is going to pay a market rate. As Hazel Jones pointed out, what was it, last week? Edwina actually makes almost everything that is paid in the calendar year. Almost all of that money is made back by leasing the, what was it, the stables. Think of all the other money they make. So this is the mother of come-ups for the members of the royal family. And I do believe, I'm going to do that article tomorrow, because I do believe they also mentioned the, is it the Gloucesters or was it the Kents? I think it was Princess Michael and Prince Michael of Kent. They had a country pile years ago, but when Queen Elizabeth was forced to raise their rent, which she did not want to do, but just like in this instance, people were talking about it, they decided to sell the country home and to live full-time at Kensington Palace. Imagine that. They were saving so much money, they could afford to have a home in the country like a real working aristocrat, which they are not. They don't really have anything to do. He's not the Duke of Kent. His brother is. He made a lot of money going over to Russia. She made a lot of money doing whatever she was doing. Documentaries and attending all of these events and everything. You know, the stuff that they scream bloody murder because Harry showed up and gave a speech. Those people do that stuff all the time. But it's only a problem when the Sussexes do it. And you might as well throw Harry in there with discrimination. That's light-skinned Harry. Yeah, that's light-skinned Harry. You dig? So anyway, that was yesterday. Now, let me find that other thing I was looking for. Oh, I cannot stand the sound of what's his name? Thomas Markle's voice. I cannot stand the sound of it. Oh God. Can he be more annoying? Wait, don't answer that. Uh-oh. Is this for today? Oh, no, that's for November. Okay, sorry about that. I was looking at something. I'm like, did I miss something that happened today? But no, they were talking about the Sussexes making a donation last month. All right.
Certainly hasn't been denied by Meghan's side, and that's something. So I think she probably has contacted her father or the hospital, or possibly her half brother, more likely the hospital.
It's buffering.
Well, it certainly hasn't been denied by Meghan's side, and that's something. So I think she probably has contacted her father or the hospital, or possibly her half brother, more likely the hospital, to pass on her good wishes, I imagine, to her father, who does seem to be very ill indeed. He's been in poor health for a long time, but now in intensive care and having his leg reportedly amputated. This does seem to have provoked a change of heart from Meghan.
Do you think that with relationships softening between Meghan Markle and her father, that perhaps there could be some sort of softening between Harry and the king? It seemed as though Meghan Markle, at some points, it felt as though Meghan Markle was almost trying to keep her husband away from his family. Perhaps now she's getting closer to her father again, her husband will too.
Here we go.
Meghan Sussex, we must remember. She doesn't like being called Meghan Markle. And of course, she is still a duchess. She's not a former duchess. Whether this will have any impact on Harry and the King, no, I don't think so. But I think we should cut Meghan some slack here. I'm a bit tired of all the criticism of her. Families are complicated. We all know that. And the royal family is particularly complicated. She's put up with a lot from her father, you know, over the years. He has been selling his story to all sorts of outlets, giving media interviews, whether paid or not, when she has pleaded with him not to do so. She's also put up with a lot of verbal abuse from her half-brother and her half-sister, Thomas and Samantha. And she has chosen over recent years simply not to contact any of them. But I think she would have had to have a heart of stone not to, in the Americanese, reach out or try to contact her father in this health crisis. And she doesn't have a heart of stone, I don't think. She may be misguided, possibly, in talking all the time about the importance of family, importance of love, importance of harmony, and then not demonstrating that herself. But as I say, families are complicated and estrangements like this are delicate. Well,
you know, I would wonder, or should I say, I do wonder, is there some internal polling taking place, whether it's at the tabloids or at the houses of Windsor or both? Because this whole thing of dragging Thomas Markle Sr. out has caused a lot of people great irritation. And I do think a lot of people are just tired of hearing about him. He is a pitiful individual, pitiful, unpleasant to look at. one of the most beastly looking things since Otis the Wino from the Andy Griffith Show. A beast, a loser, with a capital L, loser. And people are just tired of hearing from him. Oh, am I going to see my grandkids? I really do want to see my grandkids. You know, there's a movement now that, and Oprah had a podcast about this, where people are, what do they call it? They want no contact, zero contact with their family, which seems like the worst possible thing in the world. Especially if, like myself, you've had any losses in your family recently, you know how painful it is to think of something like that. But in Meghan's case, where there has been continued abuse, um, because we are so emotionally invested in the Sussexes, indeed, we feel a certain way whenever Meghan is trying to establish something new, and then here comes her father again with that same pathetic tale. And because we are so close to it, we know that there are other family members that he has not seen. But there is a reporter in bed. Embedded, right? Embedded. A reporter embedded with Thomas Markle Sr. That must hurt in 1,000 different ways that cannot even be calculated. Oh, not that one, this one. I was about to say, where the hell did they come from? Anyway, Thomas Markle contacted the Daily Mail before his children. Hello, did you all hear that? I'm not making it up. Thomas Markle. Listen, I could play coy and pretend like I just don't automatically believe what I see in Feminegra, but for the most part, they have not let me down yet. So if Feminegra say that old Tommy contacted the Daily Mail before he contacted his children, I believe it. I certainly believe it. I mean, it's his character. It's right, you know, that is definitely consistent with his character. Anyway, the latest claims surrounding Thomas Markle's medical emergency reveal less about his condition and more about the media network that surrounds him. Meghan Sussex spokesman confirmed that she attempted to contact her father as soon as she learned of his surgery overseas. That single clarification dismantled a week of speculation built almost entirely on the Daily Mail reporting, and it exposed how heavily the narrative depended on assumptions rather than fact. When the Mail later admitted that the email Meghan used had been inactive for years, and who would know that better than the Daily Mail, right? The storyline shifted again. That detail strengthened her credibility and showed how selective tabloid framing had steered public opinion. What followed pointed to a wider architecture between the coverage, a father who defaults to the press for attention, a reporter positioned, let that sink in, a reporter positioned as gatekeeper, and a publication that continues framing Meghan as negligent even when the evidence pointed elsewhere. The information pipeline built around Thomas Markle. Thomas Markle's behavior in this episode mirrored a long-established pattern. Once he learned of his medical emergency, he contacted the press before reaching any member of his family. Carolyn Graham, a senior male editor, received his message first. She then relayed the update to Thomas Jr. and Samantha, a sequence that placed a tabloid journalist at the center of a movement that should have been private. A moment, not movement. For Meghan, this dynamic is neither new nor surprising. In 2022, Netflix series Her Mother Doria described her shock at Thomas's willingness to participate in tabloid theatrics. Meghan shared how she discovered that her father allowed journalists to pose him to extract personal information, a breach she noticed only when she received messages addressed to Meghan, a name that he never used. He never used Meghan. That incident confirmed that his phone had been compromised and that intimate, details of her life has been exposed to strangers. Let me share this with you. Oh my God, look at him. Look at him. He's a beast, an absolute beast, a sloth. Okay. I cannot stand him. Do you hear me? I cannot stand him. He makes me sick. Do you hear me? Sick. He makes me sick. Anyway, I don't want to die estranged from Meghan. I want to meet my grandkids and Harry. Thomas Markle speaks to the male Carolyn Graham from his hospital bed in a world exclusive interview. I don't want and bring me some more Kentucky Fried Chicken and a beer. I don't want and I want Harry and bring the grandkids and we'll just take a picture and do you see the state of yourself? All sitting up there all sweaty and disheveled, and that was before you went to the hospital. Yeah, that's what he needs. He needs somebody to give him the look. Uh-huh. He needs somebody to give him the look. I'd like for Tommy to get married to a black woman one more time, but it's got to be this one. It got to be this one. I love Doria. She's very sweet, but I need old Tommy to court this lady. It'd be a whole nother story. Trust and believe. Leg says, you see that? There we go. Why are you messing with me? Yes, I see it. It's very distinctive. It's very distinctive. Of course, I saw it. And I think that's why they had to do surgery, because it seemed like his knee was on backwards. I think they probably tried to turn it around. And when that didn't work, I guess they said, well, I guess we're just going to have to take this. Whew. You got me sitting up here with tears in my eyes. I'm trying to be irate and outraged, but you blowing my cover. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see. What was I bristling about? Oh, yeah. Let me see. Right here, it says this was a tweet from Glow. Glow said, I was absolutely stunned that Tom. Oh, you know what? I think she's quoting Doria. I was absolutely stunned that Tom would become part of this circus. Doria Ragland, Meghan's mother. Meghan has been so kind about her father in what she has said. In the Netflix documentary, she spoke about the initial betrayal by her father in his decision to accept money for stories against her, and as I understand, to trick her into sharing private information to his phone to the press by letting her respond to journalists that he allowed to pretend to be him in order to get juicy tabloid worthy information. However, she has not talked more about how his betrayal has continued past 2018 in to current date. Meghan truly lost her father to Dan Wooten, Piers Morgan, Carolyn Graham of the Daily Mail. And that was from Glow. I did not put that up here, I think, but yeah, that was from Glow. Oh, by the way, let's take a look at the text messages. So there's Thomas Markle's phone. I've done nothing to hurt you, Meghan, or anyone else. I know nothing about 20 phone calls. I'm sorry. My heart attack. Is there any inconvenience for you? Is there any inconvenience? Well, anyway. So Meghan, please, can I ask you to stop talking to any press? You haven't returned any of our 20 plus calls since we all spoke on Saturday morning, which only adds to the hurt you've been causing. We aren't angry, but we do really need to speak to you. Love you. Love M and H. Okay, so if you look over to the right, you can see that Glow was kind enough to highlight this for us. I've done nothing to hurt you, Meghan. He never calls his daughter Meghan. That is not how he addresses his daughter. And I have proof of it. But whoever was operating the phone definitely did not know the difference. Was it the daughter of Dixie? Who knows? She seemed to be the one closest to him. Lex says, Meghan sent an email for privacy and confidentiality. If the Daily Mail sells it, they get sued again. They want her to talk to him directly to sell it. Thank you very much, Legs. That is so true. That is so true. I think they would risk the lawsuit. I really do think they would risk it just for their worldwide exclusive. Okay. Where did I leave off? Oh, I'm back here. Nope. That's interesting. Where was I? Did I lose it? Oh, you know what? I see where I am. Sorry about that. All right. The damage extended well beyond a single moment. Thomas continued selling stories, staging photos, and contradicting her public statements. He engaged with a new network of influential players. Jason Knopf, the former Kensington Palace aide, now leading Prince William's Earthshot Prize. Hoghead Piers Morgan, one of the UK's most aggressive tabloid broadcasters. Dan Wooten, a longtime tabloid columnist, and Carolyn Graham, his closest Daily Mail liaison. She's embedded, creating a pipeline. Interesting choice of words. Creating a pipeline that pushed private family information to the public domain. Meghan rarely discussed the collective impact, but the pattern is clear. She did not simply lose contact with her father, she lost him to a media ecosystem that rewarded his cooperation. In other words, he got paid. He got paid. Harry. No, I'm sorry. That's not. Oh, there it is. If only I had died, then you guys could pretend to be sad. Now, you know what? I think that simpleton wrote that one. I'm pretty sure he wrote that one. If only I had died, you guys could pretend to be sad. Grammar, anyone? Tom, it's Harry. Please answer your phone. I need to know this is actually you because it doesn't sound like you at all. Well, I'm going to say that other one did because that other one sounded like somebody kind of soft in the head. That sounded like him sitting up there trying to get pity for being shitty. Okay. When hospital access becomes tabloid currency, with that history in mind, Thomas' latest choices fit a familiar script. He invited photographers into the hospital room and granted the male exclusive access while claiming isolation. Guards blocked outside cameras, yet the male operated freely inside, producing images that appeared staged rather than incidental. These photographs accompanied a commentary suggesting Meghan had made no effort to reach him. Oh my God, he's disgusting. Thomas Markle has continued to collaborate with anti-Meghan media, anti-Meghan journalists, and even anti-Meghan YouTubers. And look at that. Look at that, you guys. Everything you do for me has turned me into who I am. Thomas Markle reveals the cherished, loving cards sent to him by his daughter he calls Bean. Now, that was a card that he got from Meghan. And that is proof. I mean, I've actually seen the card where Meghan signed it Bean. or he signed, or he called her being, either or. Now look at the date. By Carolyn Graham in Rosarito, Mexico, for the Daily Mail on Sunday, published 8 December 2018. Wow. That, what was that, 7 years to date? That was 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Wow. Ain't that something? And today is December 8th. Ain't that something? It just goes bad to worse, right? It goes from bad to worse. Once the Mail confirmed her email had gone to an address he abandoned years earlier, the premise collapsed. The issue was not her inaction, it was his reliance on outdated contact information while keeping an open line to the tabloids. Ain't that something? If you were a tabloid, you'd have a better chance of connecting with him. Placed alongside the documentary context, the situation becomes clear. Meghan has spent years navigating manipulated messages, staged storylines, and public betrayals orchestrated through the very individuals now shaping this crisis. She has remained cautious because the private channel between her father and daughter no longer exists. It has been replaced by a network of intermediaries who treat access to Thomas as content. The Mail updated inadvertently. The Mail update inadvertently confirms that the Sussexes have said since 2018 her attempts at genuine contact are undermined by a system designed to turn those attempts into spectacle. Well, this is kind of a long article, but since we're almost done, what unfolded this week reveals a simple truth. When faced with devastating news, Thomas Markle did not call his children. He called the Daily Mail journalists. He gave interviews from a hospital bed, posed for photographs in the ICU. And I got evidence of that too. He posed for photographs in the ICU. How pathetic. Look, this is when they that was Meghan's letter right there, revealed the letter showing. That letter is what got them sued. And they redacted parts of the letter to make Meghan seem more, shall we say, uncaring. And for those of you who may have never heard this before, Jason Knopf did everything he could to try and help the Daily Mail. He even went so far as to lie and say he co-authored the letter, that it was his idea to write the letter, and that he co-authored the letter. Do you think Rachel Meghan Markle, aka Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, aka Meghan Sussex, do you think she need help from Jason Knopf to write a letter to her father? Do you think she needs anybody's help to write a letter? I think not. But he tried it. And then when that didn't work, well, before the Oprah Winfrey interview came out, of course, William gave him the green light to throw some incriminating information upon her to cause problems. Yeah, he's a real tool, believe me. Let me see. These are not actions of someone seeking family support. They are the choices of a man who has spent years prioritizing tabloid attention over personal relationships. His behavior raises questions that only he can answer. Why has he allowed a publication with a vast interest in harming his youngest daughter to manage his most vulnerable moments? Why is a reporter the first point of contact during a medical emergency? Lastly, why has he accepted a dynamic that turns his pain into a storyline for the media outlet that caused harm and destruction for his daughter and son in law? Whatever the explanation, misguidance, manipulation, ego, or financial motive, the cost is his own dignity, not Meghan's. And despite the noise, the responsibility for this estrangement does not lie with Meghan. The justified distance she maintained is her choice, shaped by years of betrayal and intrusion. No child owes access to a parent who repeatedly weaponized that access for public consumption. And lastly, there is no news here. There are only manufactured narratives crafted by individuals who thrive on chaos and outrage. The fact remains unchanged. Meghan acted responsibly, and the spectacle around her father was engineered by people who benefited from keeping this wound open. The tragedy is not her silence. The tragedy is the machinery that encourages a father to perform his own suffering for an audience while the truth sits quietly in plain sight. Come on, Feminagra. Come on, Feminagra. Now that's some hell of a writing, isn't it? By the way, this is one of the cards that Meghan gave her father. Isn't that cute? You see it? Fa la 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 llama. See that? Fa la 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 llama, la 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 llama. Fa la 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 llama, la 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 llama. Yeah, that was one of the cute cards that Meghan gave her father. Anyway, I like that. Fa la la llama. A Christmas llama. That's what's missing from under my Christmas tree. Oh, and yes, I saw someone in the chat mention this. The curious case of Carolyn Graham, Thomas Markle, and Daily Mail's obsession with Meghan. Well, yes, it is true that Carolyn Graham actually is friends with Camilla. See the book, Camilla, Her True Story by Carolyn Graham? Or how about the follow-up book, Camilla and Charles, The Love Story? Now, if this doesn't scream a lack of integrity, I don't know what does. Because anyone who would make up some crap like that, well, I guess with Charles and Camilla, they deserve access, because if you're willing to misrepresent the actual person's existence, Camilla, those books are usually just a bunch of fluff. They are written with the approval of the members of the royal family, a courtesy that has been extended to everyone but Prince Harry when that, what's her name, Angela Levin wrote a book about him that was totally unauthorized. Exclusive. Meet the American cousin baby Sussex may never know, as Thomas Markle is revealed to have never met two of his grandchildren and be barely in touch with the others. So there's let's see, the two boys there, Thomas and Tyler, their last name is Dooley, but they started using the name Markle. And then, of course, Noelle, I believe we've seen her before, Chris, I don't know. And of course, anyway, these are people that that Thomas Markle Sr. never takes the opportunity to meet or see. Some of his grandkids, he has not even met them. But when he wakes up out of a sound sleep, the first thing he thinks of is Meghan, Harry, Lily, Archie. Meghan, Harry, Lily, Archie. Glow says, with all the other grandkids Thomas Markle has, what he has that he has no contact with, I do wonder if it's just the royal ones and the mother of the royal ones that he publicly, emotionally blackmailing for access. Pretty confident that otherwise, if not for the Royal Association and money from the Daily Mail to pursue Meghan and therefore the Sussex children, he wouldn't have given a rat's arse. I agree. I am in total agreement. At the end of the day, it is a paid access, or the attempt at access is bought and paid for by the tabloids, in particular, the Daily Mail. There's no way he's doing all this for free. And if he is doing this for free and not taking any money, then I would say they are probably very guilty of undue influence on someone who is aging and a bit fragile. Otherwise, there's no other explanation for it. Either they're being paid or he is being coerced in some other way. I would hate to think that somebody had some dirt on him, and the only way to keep that dirt packed away is to do as we say. But I let my imagination run wild with that one. Oh, Chris is Ashley's brother. Okay. Well, take a look, you guys. It's Tugboat Tommy. There he is in the flesh. Whose flesh is unclear, but that is good old Tugboat Tommy. They gave him a hospital room with tugboats. I'm pretty sure that was paid for by the Daily Mail. That way he could feel at home, don't you think? Tugboat Tommy. Yes, it's the Tugboat Tommy. He's the one who's always asking for money at the Tugboat Tommy. He staged some photos. They look so phony. And when I saw them, the first thing I said is baloney. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Tugboat Tommy. Well, you know what, you guys, I thought that it was a real shame, staged or not. I thought he looked kind of pitiful, laying in that hospital bed, looking all disheveled. So I decided to give him a little makeover. Do you want to see it? There you go. I decided the best thing to do was to try to soften him up a bit with a little pink bow. I mean, if you're going to have that bizarre clump of hair sticking out, you might as well put a little bow on it so it looks a little more elegant. You see that? I know the pink kind of washes his features away, but that's a good thing because who the hell wants to look at him? So, staring directly at him can turn you into a pillar of salt. So I'm doing you a favor. If you look at the top of his head, you don't have to deal with the rest of him. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, Tugboat Tommy. See there? One little close up. And I want to see Harry. And I want to see my grandkids. And I want to see Meghan. And you think they'll come to my funeral? I want to see them before I die. I promise you guys, this is someone who has robust health if I've ever seen. He has been through a lot, and it does not seem to have an effect on him. One thing about a tugboat is that they're very small, but they are more than capable of pulling an aircraft carrier if necessary, even in rough seas. So, yeah, Tugboat Tommy is going to be okay. And you notice the first thing that happened when he woke up is he started begging and talking. Yep. The first thing that happened is he's got to talking about Meghan and the grandkids and Prince Harry. His mouth still works. What was one of the squatties said that the surgery that he's been through is the equivalent of being body slammed or in a car wreck. You just want to rest. Not Thomas Markle Sr. He wants people to smuggle Kentucky Fried Chicken into his room and everything else. Not a model prisoner, I can assure you. So, well, it says here, he was well enough to open this and press this to call Daily Mail. 95, oh, this is where I saw that. 95% of people in ICU aren't even able to talk, let alone ring a tabloid journalist, have a photo shoot, and do the whole worldwide exclusive interview. The same page with the phone app where you will find the email app, also photo guidance to help those of the slow thinking. Yeah, so there you go. Tugboat Tommy strikes again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the adventures of Tugboat Tommy. And now we pause for station identification. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's another thrilling episode of Tugboat Tommy, The Adventures of Tugboat Tommy, coming to a theater near you. I knew it was something that wasn't right about him the first time I laid eyes on him. I knew it. I knew he was a complete jinx. And it was just something inside of me that said, Lord, please do not let this man walk Meghan down the aisle. He's no good. He's no good. I could just see it. He has that his spirit is just, it's like rot and decay. That's his whole spirit. And if you get close enough to him, then you'll start to decay. Okay. I think that bow was a nice touch. I think it at least softened his features a bit. You're welcome. The Harry and Lily bit. I just made a few mistakes. That's all. I don't know why Meghan is so upset with me because of a mistake I made. I know why, because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Well, mother of one-hit wonders. Look who went to the Kennedy Center honors. None other than Gloria Gaynor. I will survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. Let's see. Benjamin Padilla says, Thomas wants cash. That's who he wants. cash. Thank you so much for the cash. Thank you for the super chat, Benjamin Padilla. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Yeah, he just wants to get paid. He wants to get paid. That is what keeps him living in the lap of luxury over in the Philippines, is a steady pay. They may as well put him on staff at the Daily Mail. Yeah, interesting thing about Gloria Gaynor. Gloria Gaynor, in my opinion, is the new Pearl Bailey. She will perform for the Republicans. And let me tell you guys, given the current occupants of the White House, it is not easy for them to find quality performers because most people do not want to be associated with the White House right now. So the fact that Gloria Gaynor is there, that's not a good look for her. I could respect the fact that she wants to be recognized for a career of inspiring so many people, but I'm going to keep it 100. If it wasn't for the fact that they could not get other people to participate, people who've had more interesting careers, right? She would not have received this award. I'm serious. She would not have received this award. The people who receive an honor like that, what is that? The Presidential Medal of Freedom or whatever? Is that Kennedy Center? Well, whatever it is, the people who usually receive that is like an Aretha Franklin or a Gladys Knight or Barbara Streisand, not Gloria Gaynor. And don't get me wrong, she's a fine artist. And I do think she has been an inspiration to many, many people. I mean, just imagine me and my classmates. What was I in middle school or whatever? And we're all singing. First, I was afraid. I was petrified. Just wondering how I'm going to live without you by my side. But I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong. And I learned how to I mean, imagine a classroom full of kids singing something like that, like we know heartache. You know what I'm saying? That was weird. It's like a bunch of third graders singing Santa Baby. Certain songs like that just should not happen. Around the same time, I was singing Pull Up to the Bumper, not realizing what the song really meant. I didn't pick it up. I was in my 30s before one day I said, oh, that's tacky. Yeah, it took me a while before I realized what they were saying. But once you know, but I'm not going to explain it. In your long black limousine, pull up to the bumper, baby. Yeah, your long black limousine. Okay, if you haven't figured that out by now, pull up to it. Don't drive through it. Okay. I didn't know. Just like when we were singing Ring My Bell. Here we were, a whole classroom full of kids. You can ring my bell anytime, anywhere. Ring it, ring it, ring it, ring it. Ow! We were doing all the ad libs. Ring it, ring, ring, dong, ding. I didn't know. Trust me when I say I was not the brightest kid. I was not the brightest kid. There were things that went over my head. And believe me, it didn't take much ground clearance to do that. I had no idea what they were saying. I just thought there was a bell that needed to be rung. And yes, I may have been in grade school, but I was more than willing to help you ring your bell. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up there. You can ring my bell anytime, anywhere. Ring it, ring it, ring it, ring it. Ow! What do they call that? A double entendre? Hey, Deborah Anderson. Well, revealed Prince William's charming secret code to Kate Middleton when he wants to move along during royal outings. Yes, there is a bit of a hand gesture. In other words, he almost yanked her arm out of socket. And when he does that, that means, well, I can't use that language, but it means, come on. But I guess if your husband dislocates your arm, that means it's time to go, right? If only to urgent care, but it is time to go. Yep. I think we're getting to the root of it. From the rooter to the tutor. And if you know what that means, you are owed. From the rooter to the tutor. Thank you, Connie Balmer. I'm also fun on road trips. I tell you, I should hire myself out to people who need to drive cross country because I probably never shut up. And why should I, right? Right. Yeah, so there you go. And I'm looking at the way Kate is looking at him after he yanks her arm. See how she's like, I told you not to do that. Like she's talking through her teeth. Have you lost your GD mind? You better never yank on my arm again like that. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, let me see. Do I have that video? Do I have that video? Remember when they went to that wedding and Kate was in line and would not stop talking? Remember? They were at that wedding and Kate would not stop talking, and William was trying to nudge her along, and she just kept talking. If you haven't seen it, you know I want to share it with you. Oh, there it is, Clueless Kate. Well, how about that for equal justice? Kate held up the line, so they made sure that she was put all the way behind that gentleman in his native costume. And there she was behind all of that cotton and fabric and everything. It's what she deserves. Oh, man. Wait, do I have another? Please, sir, may I have another? Please, sir, may I have another? Let me see. Where is it? It was on that. Okay, I can't do that one. I always get in trouble when I do that one. Gosh, I would love to play that. That's always so much fun. Let me see here. Oh, come on. I got one more video I wanted to share. Okay, it slipped me mind. It slipped me mind. That's too bad. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, how about this one? I'll do this one. See how she was trying to grab him the way he grabbed her? She reached over and he was like, "Don't touch me." Okay. Let me see. Well, everyone, I think that is it for tonight. I will see you all next time, an hour and 38 minutes. Not bad. I will stick around for your last comments. I'm so surprised there's like 750 people in here. It hasn't been that busy in a while. Huh? It has not been that busy in a while. But I'll take it. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, December the 9th, we have those kids. We have those kids. Good night. Cheers. Cheers. Good night. Cheers. Cheers.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife and I.
My wife and I.
My wife and I.
My wife and I.
For me and my wife.
Me and my wife. I'm so proud of my wife.
And my incredible wife.
An amazing wife.
The soulmate in my wife.
Thank you, my love. The mother to my children. The love of my life.
And what I know about the two of them, and I wish the world knew how much they love these two people love each other. They found each other out of all these odds against them finding each other, they found each other. And the love that they have is really, really moving. And I just wanted to do anything I could to support them.
Isn't that funny? Sometimes you know when you meet someone.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can see like what love is and
Right.
you can tell right away.
Yeah, yeah. And if I don't have that, what she and Harry have, I don't want it.
Yeah, if I can't have that, I don't want it. Says Tyler Perry. All right, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. The last one out, got to turn out the lights. I'm looking for another fun video that we could look at. Huh? Something else fun? Oh, well. Let me see. Good night, everyone. Well, y'all know I love this one. Yes, don't forget the Royal Sussex thumbs up and hard work. Yes, thank you so much, Ingrid Soers. Okay, cheers, everyone. I guess I'm through looking for videos, but I always like to throw a few of those in there if I finish early.